All right, welcome to my channel. My name is Blue Phoenix. My pronouns are she, her. So I wanted to do a quick uh, build overview or just like a speed build and show y'all what I was making. This is in Newcrest, and so I'm taking advantage of the huge space that we have over here in Newcrest. There's just a lot to build here, so I'm taking the opportunity to learn how to build a little bit better here. So as you see, I am building. This is going to be a new build for eventually the daughter of Lily Arts is next door. As you see, it's a brown building, and so currently she's an employee there of Lily Arts. And so what I want to do is I want her to eventually have enough money to move out and then get the place next door. Next door will be a music, coffee, uh, like home. So upstairs will be her area where she would be able to like hang out and do sleep and do all her activities. And then downstairs she'll run her business of teaching other people her musical skills, because she is raising her skills up to like 10. So I think that's really fun, really cool, and she could eventually have an employee where that could eventually run the bar as well. And this would be a fun way to just still also keep them in alongside each other. As you see here, I'm just building a really easy build. I went from a reference of a picture from a build that I saw in Sims 3 a long time ago. So it's just something that I kind of like referenced from Sims 3, and I was like, okay, well, let me see if I could put it into Sims 4. It is something that I really am enjoying doing because it's something that's just like really relaxing. I'm using some of these like wallpapers just to kind of like check out the walls that are around here, because I was really trying to like put them next to kind of like same cohesive of the neighborhood that's in. But then I thought, you know what? Why don't you just we just like switch it up a little bit? So I'm trying to like play around with some of the different wallpapers. I did go with this like brown greenish uh, siding panel, and I was really not a fan of it. And so I was kind of like just contemplating along the way that what am I going to kind of like replace it with, because if I see around it, it looks fine, but and then I tried a lighter color for it, and I think it worked. So I'm just going to be placing the stairs. The one thing that I have issues with when placing stairs is that it is a little bit hard and finicky, and so they just kind of like don't slot into the area where they're supposed to right away, but then they do. So I like that. But these are the railings that I got. I thought it was something like something industrial but also welcoming. So I thought of the bright wood in the beginning as something to like add to the business, because it looks really good in my opinion in this first beginning. As you see, this is how I wanted it: a little like raised platform into the music room, and then she could still like also create her different write her different songs and sell them and stuff like that. And then eventually, what I wanted to do in this area on the upstairs is like something that's a bit more of like uh, open to her. And I did put some railings there, or like some fencing that's like some railings to it. I think I did miss a kitchen, but I am trying out the new thing over here with the windows. I was going for this one from For Rent, but then I looked at these. I think these are from Seasons, and they work with it. It's like they are kind of like some very simple brown toned windows that also look kind of like starter home ish. Like they're not so fancy, but they're not also so simple that don't they look just like not in place. So these were something that kind of gave it a little character along the way. I really liked the way that they looked along. I chose mixing them up with like the smaller ones and also the medium sized ones, larger ones. I think the door entryway there is from the bistro kit, but I liked it there just because it looked like a interest, like a welcoming, interesting environment for the upstairs. And so right here, I was just trying to like bring in some more light into the rooms. I'm not a good like perfect layout person. I'm just kind of like floating ideas at this point because I think I missed like did I say that I missed the kitchen because I keep thinking about it as I look at the build right now that I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot of things I could have done to it. But this is like the area where it's going to be like the entrance area, but also put a door in front of the stairs. As you see, it's this so that way it could like also be blocked off only to her, because sometimes whenever you're just like putting in the doors and the employees, you can manage that, but also you have the nannies and then the other people. So I think it makes it easier for them to walk up there also if you're using like nannies and services. And that's what I use. I usually use a lot of like nannies and services because I do play a lot of like family gameplay, and so my legacy style play is something like this where I like to like build families, and I like to create stories and businesses eventually for them. Like the businesses are like their goals that they're eventually going to achieve, and I think it's like something along the way that helps them create a just a more dynamic story, in my opinion. I so that's why I like playing The Sims and I enjoy playing The Sims. So this is like my favorite game to play and create different stories and see how they play out. Upstairs was a very like basic layout. That's what I thought of like doing, because I think if I overdo the layout, I will definitely not complete it. And so I was really contemplated on the windows here. I felt like they look like whenever those windows that he started off playing. I don't know if you guys played like The Sims One or something, but it's when The Sims One had those windows, and you were just like building your mansion, and you just played all the put all the big windows everywhere. You just had this big open layout. It kind of made me feel like it looked like that. So I was trying to play around with the windows, making them look a little bit more cohesive to the build. I was not feeling the warm tones anymore in this area of the build, and so I started changing the colors, and I went with more of a dark tone. And I thought of the dark tone because I thought of like all the other music shops that I saw that were a bit more like dark toned, and so I eventually like switched off the dark tones and I went off with that. I believe the fencing is the business and hobbies fencing as I'm looking at it right now, and I liked it because it just looked a little bit like simple, but also a little bit like with some character. But I went with a darker tone because it matched the bistro door set. I believe that's the one that I'm using, and also that is the eco pack door right there. I really like those big long doors for the way that they open up and allow the Sims to go in. I did end up replacing these column beams, and I replaced it from the werewolves plaque because I felt like those looked like they would give that character to the build of like them looking a bit like rustic, a little bit like worn, like this building has been here some time, so it gave it some character to the build, and I really enjoyed looking at it right now as it's going on. It is looking a little bit more of like it had some character, some detail. Like this is like a music shop that you are purchasing, and has some character, has some flaws, but you will renovate it, will eventually like add some more things to it, give some more detail to what she's going to be doing there. Because I haven't really finished the whole lot, and so right here I was trying to add some flooring to it, kind of give some interesting flooring, like some European walkway entry flooring, and that's what I really liked. But I started changing up some things. I did go with the fairy pack guard outdoor um, set for the ground, like for the ground place placement for the tile, outdoor tile placements. So that's what I went for. I forgot how it was called, but that's how it looked like, and it gave it a really good detail because the rocks look good there, and it's not like so overdone where it's like very whimsical, but it also gives it some whimsy where it's not like whimsy. It's still very just like low, whimsical little character. It wasn't something just like in your face like the other one. I kind of try to mix and match a little bit of like some things because I personally just wanted to go all out in my builds, and like I said, I'm trying to learn a little bit more. Sometimes I will restrict myself to just base game builds, and that's because was really in just doing some things that I wanted to see, like whenever we got like some new base game tiles and floors. In this bedroom though, I kind of try to give it a very like simple theme to it, to where it's not so overly done. Like the furniture is there. It came with the furniture came with the build, so it's not like something that you just like place there, but it is something that you're going to have to eventually renovate. Maybe the person who owned it before was someone who was a bit older and just had didn't have enough time on their hands to do a lot of like renovations around the house, and so that's why they were didn't get to like adding the kitchen to it. And so because around the neighborhood there's all these other businesses there, so that's how they would like interact. And so and that's what I would like the storyline would go for this this house, because it really has some character. This office over here that I really enjoyed doing because it was a bit more of like giving it some detail to it. These rugs, I noticed these rugs were really interesting when I was placing them. So, excuse me. So this rug that I was placing over here, I think it's from the Get Famous pack, but it was also it looked similar to the. mm, is it the business and hobbies rug? And so I was just very. It was like it looked familiar to it, or it just didn't have like some scuffing to it. The other one did have some scuffing. This one didn't have some scuffing, but that's what I noticed at least. Excuse me, but that's what I thought looked like there. And adding this bathroom in here, I thought was something that was really easy to do, something that had like some room to it, because I know sometimes like the Sims can get stuck if you don't have them give them enough room. I was adding this little window here, and that one's from the seasons pack, and looked really nice. And I just kind of like kept the area very simple. I don't think I added too much detailing to the walls because like I said, I just kind of wanted to, didn't want to make it seem like it needed a more like appeal to it. It was just more of like something that was there and you just like build into it and you renovate. And I might upload this one to the gallery or not. I'm not sure, but I really liked doing the archways right here. It kind of gave us some openness to the area that in very like easy flow. Now we're moving over to the downstairs area where I was kind of contemplating on adding like a full on bathroom or not, because sometimes I was like, well, this is a business, and I was like, well, maybe the bottom downstairs has like a fuller bathroom, maybe not like a tub, but like maybe just like a stand-in shower. And I was just like, or one of those other showers, and I was trying to maybe make it fancy, where you would like kind of like tile off a section of room, and but I decided not to, and I kind of went more simplistic with it. And I thought of doing this area where it was just very easy to do. So I didn't add too much to it. And then I went in here and started looking at how to do the class. And I did block off the window, unfortunately, because the board, but it still gave it some light into it. Um, over here I'm going to be adding the roofing to it. This is like the different types of roofing that I was like looking and doing right here. I wasn't sure what color. I kind of wanted it to match the fencing to the roofing, but it was a little bit rough looking at all the patterns. I even looked at the Ravenwood one, no, Life and Death one, and then I started like looking through different swatches and stuff like that. I just really wanted to keep it a bit more simple and something that like was not so detailed, but I couldn't really like find one that was like that, so I kind of just settled on this roofing as you see here. um, so we're gonna go in here and look at it just a little bit more as I am in here. This is like an area where I thought needed some more lighting, and so I started looking at the lighting that we have, and I didn't want to keep it modern. I kind of want to keep it like mix match a little bit of lighting here of like different packs. So of I wanted some like low lighting in the study area, and so I moved some things around so I could fit this like light in here. I was thinking of doing an overhead lighting to it, but then I was like, no, I think just kind of keeping it with like maybe one that's like on the wall, and then maybe one that's like a floor lamp. And so I was looking at the different floor lamps. That's why you see sometimes that I'm like in there and it's pausing a little bit. It's because I'm like looking through the catalog and trying to find um, the lamp. It was kind of like difficult for me because I was trying to do it really fast, and so I was trying to record. So because I didn't want to like people while I'm doing it like, oh well, what are you doing? Like, you know, did the computer freeze or like did the screen freeze or anything like that? No, it's just I was looking at the catalog and there's a whole bunch of things in there. But I was trying to keep it very simple and very easy to the build because I didn't want to also have them like achieve some like crazy build that's like out of the way, because you know like it's realistically we're trying to go for here. And so I was trying to get some little character. I went with like an off teal blue wallpaper with some brown trimming to it. I thought it was nice. The floor, the wall, no, the floor lamp there. That's like the branch. I think that was from the Enchanted pack. That was. I thought it gave it some nice whimsy, but also like some lighting into it. It was like not some overbearing light, but because I didn't want to go for something that was like too bright in there, but also wanted to do something that was kind of whimsical because I'm trying to add some whimsy to it, but I don't want to add too much to it. That's why I like this game, because you can kind of balance it a little bit around here and there, and it'll still match. Like you could probably, like I said, like add these little tree branch lighting into it and kind of mix match around here, and it's still, in my opinion, looks like it goes together. And adding those rugs, as you see here, that was like one that was like huge, one that was little, and just kind of like give this space a little bit more character. I was still very contemplated about the roofing here because the roofing was so difficult. As you see, I didn't like the different colors of the roof, and so I was just like I kept looking through the different roofing here, and I kind of went back I think to the Life and Death pack because I was like I really might be swaying myself towards it. I think this was maybe the third time, but I don't think I did end up going to it. I was adjusting through the different types of like frames on there, but like the different types like points that you have on the roofing on there, but I settled on that like brightish orange roofing, and it looked good in my opinion, and so that's how I went with it. um Okay, so remember how I was saying that there was not a kitchen, and so I added a kitchen, and I wanted to show y'all how it looked. And so the way that I did it was adding it to the area right over here in the bedroom also. So it kind of like added a little cozy area, a little kitchen area that's like right in this like space. So right by the office as well, and so it's right in here. Just a little area for it as well, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of have it right in there. And so I just need to like add a little light to it. That would be a pretty much ideal. That would fit in here. I think like something like this would be this. Something that's just like simple. It doesn't have to be like too much. I just need like something simple, pretty much like a little light like that. And so that way they have like an area to go into it and also go out. Very easy, and that's how it looks. So yeah, this is going to be the house for um, Lily's daughter eventually, whenever she finishes getting everything that she needs. But this will be the house for her, and she could finish adding some more things to it and making it more of her own. So I really enjoyed doing this build. I hope you all like it, and I hope you all like the builds that I'm making. I know I'm enjoying it, and enjoy the screenshots that are coming to the video at the end. All right, y'all take care out there. Thank you so much.